Today, there's no better time to buy than during the Sheehy 8000.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
Tonight, another horrific school shooting. The deadly scene playing out in Texas. Police saying an armed student opening fire on classmates and teachers. At least 10 people killed, several wounded. And tonight, police now revealing they have discovered explosive devices that had been placed in and around the school. Also, what we're now learning about the suspect at this hour. A fellow student, a 17-year-old, and now two persons of interest being interviewed by authorities. What police have now found. The deadly plane crash in Cuba tonight. The Boeing 737 going down after takeoff, more than 100 people on board. And tonight we learn at least 3 survivors pulled from the wreckage alive. The major scare at the Trump Resort near Miami, the suspect walking into the lobby, yelling about the president, opening fire. Tonight, the takedown. From Hawaii tonight, the stunning images, the volcano erupting, the lava boiling over, shooting into the air. Matt Gutman right there on the scene. And in Windsor tonight, the eyes of the world on the American, about to become a princess. Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and tonight we have now learned it will be Prince Charles who walks her down the aisle.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening from Windsor tonight. The world waiting to see a young American woman marry Prince Harry. There are many Americans here and many back home who thought it might offer a break from the headlines of our time. But tonight, yet another horrific school shooting back home. The images playing out even on TVs here across the UK today. This time it was Santa Fe High School in Texas, a student opening fire during class this morning. Classmates running, first responders racing to the school. At least 10 dead, the victims, students, and a teacher. Those who did get out, hugging one another in fear and in grief. Anxious parents waiting, praying that they would see their children again. Tonight, a suspect is in custody, now charged with murder. And ABC's Chief National Affairs correspondent Tom Yamas on the scene with how the horror unfolded.
Early in the morning, just as school was getting underway, the rampage started. Students sprinting to safety.
Everybody needs to clear out this way.
Teachers hustling them from the scene. It began around 7:40 a.m. Senior Tyler Turner says his friend spotted a student with a gun.
He saw the kid walking down the hall and he looked suspicious and whatnot, like he said he had a gun or something. So he went down the hall like walking, casually, didn't want him to know. And then he pulled the fire alarm, so we all went outside. And then we heard 3 shots.
That fire alarm driving students from their classrooms.
As soon as the alarms went off, everybody just started running outside. And next thing you know, everybody looks and you hear boom, boom, boom. And I just ran as fast as I could to the nearest forest so I could hide. And I called my mom.
Police racing to Santa Fe High School.
He's actually shooting. He's in the art room. We got shots fired right now, guys.
Student Peter Matuza tells our Marcus Moore he was right there when the shooter unloaded.
He first opened fire with a shotgun in which he shot one of my other friends in the head, and her body fell down not too far away from where I was under the table. That is when he turned like this and opened fire with the revolver.
Kids line up on the field, emptying their backpacks for officers to inspect. Their hands on their heads. They're patted down one by one. With students shaken outside, others hiding in classrooms. Their parents getting that dreaded phone call.
She called, she said, "Mom, there's shots." I immediately turned around and said, I'm coming. I stayed on the phone with her the whole time and just kept talking to her, kept telling her to stay calm, stay quiet. And until the police finally let her out.
By 9 a.m., the shooter had surrendered, but the danger wasn't over. The suspect wanting to take his carnage to a new level of evil.
There have been explosive devices found in the high school and surrounding areas adjacent to the high school.
Tonight, 10 people are dead, most of them students, others wounded in the hospital. And now the suspect has a mugshot, 17-year-old Dimitrios Pagorchis, a junior at Santa Fe High School. On his Facebook page, he's in a baseball cap with a peace sign. But about 3 weeks ago, he posted this photo of a shirt with the words "Born to Kill." Authorities say he kept extensive journals.
Not only did he want to commit the shooting, but he wanted to commit suicide after the shooting. As you probably know, he gave himself up and admitted at the time that he didn't have the courage to commit the suicide.
Police say he used 2 guns, a shotgun and a .38 revolver. They belong to his father, but they have no theories yet on what drove him to open fire on his classmates. Their stories now all too familiar.
I was very, very scared. I had to have someone keep me calm. I managed to keep calm through it all.
Was there a part of you that was like, this isn't real, this would not happen in my school?
No, there wasn't.
Why so?
It's been happening everywhere. I've always kind of felt like eventually it was going to happen here too.
Chilling to hear her say she thought it would happen at her school after all. And I want to bring in Tom Llamas tonight. He's on the scene in Santa Fe, Texas. And Tom, we know the suspect is now in custody, but police also interviewing 2 persons of interest tonight.
That's right, David, and this information is coming from the governor of the state of Texas. He says there's 2 people police are talking to right now. One person was on the scene and had a suspicious reaction to the events that unfolded, and another person they hope to get some information from. David, just behind me, this is the Family Reunification Center. This is where parents are picking up their children who were in the school at the time of the shooting. But you have to understand there are also a lot of parents out there who have a lot of unanswered questions, wondering where their children are. And tonight we can report, David, at least one of the victims was a teacher. David?
Tom Llamas leading us off tonight from Texas. Tom, thank you. And you heard Tom report there on the explosives left both inside and outside the school. Authorities do believe the suspect booby-trapped the area, hoping to inflict more damage. Tonight, what was in some of those bombs, just as they search his home as well? ABC's Marcus Moore, also in Texas tonight.
Authorities are digging through the suspect's house tonight looking for evidence and unexploded bombs.
Various different kinds of explosive devices have already been detected. One was a CO2 device. Another was a Molotov cocktail.
And tonight we are learning more about the teen's background. The one-time honor roll student has no criminal history.
His slate is pretty clean. And so there simply were not the same type of warning signs that we've seen in so many other shootings.
Today's rampage marks the 22nd school shooting this year. At least 35 people killed. That toll might have been higher without the bravery shown inside those schools.
Most mass shootings take under 5 minutes. Having resource officers on the scene to engage the shooter is going to save lives.
Shots fired at the high school. Shots fired at the high school.
This week, a 19-year-old opening fire near an Illinois gym packed with students rehearsing for graduation. A school resource officer coming under fire before taking that student down. Just last month, students at Santa Fe High School in Texas joined a walk to protest gun violence. Today, Parkland senior Emma Gonzalez tweeting, "You deserve more than thoughts and prayers. And after supporting us by walking out, we will be there to support you by raising up your voices." And Santa Fe students and their families are expected to gather for a vigil tonight at the high school. And David, there are still so many painful questions about how this shooting happened and why. David.
Marcus Moore for us in Texas as well. Marcus, thank you. And this is hardly the first time the president has had to address a deadly school shooting. He has learned, just as presidents did before him, how much parents, how much students want this to end. And it was a somber President Trump today.
This has been going on too long in our country. Too many years, too many decades now. Everyone must work together at every level of government to keep our children safe. May God heal the injured, and may God comfort the wounded, and may God be with the victims and with the victims' families. Very sad day. Very, very sad.
I want to bring in ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega tonight. And Cecilia, we know this president invited families from Parkland to the White House. It's still happening. Other presidents have dealt with this before. How many times has President Trump now had to address this?
David, this is the 5th time the president has had to address the nation in the wake of a mass shooting, and this has become an all too familiar drill for him. And in this city now, the all too familiar response likely to come the debate over gun control here in Washington. You just said it, after that Parkland shooting just 3 months ago, those students right here at this White House talking to this president, demanding action. Back then, President Trump said that he would back stricter gun control policies. Ultimately, he backed away from many of those. David, the White House tonight telling us there are no new announcements on gun control.
All right, Cecilia Vega at the White House for us. Cecilia, thank you. We are also following the devastating story coming out of Cuba tonight. A passenger jet crashing shortly after takeoff from the airport in Havana, crashing into a farm field, erupting into a fireball. Almost everyone on board believed to be lost. But miraculously tonight, there were survivors. Our Miami station is on the scene tonight with dramatic pictures, and here's ABC's David Curley.
The fireball just after impact, and chaos at the Cuban crash scene. What appears to be one of 3 survivors, according to state media, shuttled quickly to an ambulance. The jetliner, with more than 100 on board, slamming into a field of crops in Havana. Our affiliate, WPLG, is on the scene.
Look at the crowds. These are all Cubans trying to figure out exactly what happened. Many of them say they arrived here when they saw a plume of smoke.
Difficult to recognize the Boeing 737 as water was poured onto the wreckage, just a couple of miles from the airport where the jet took off from.
It would suggest that something catastrophic happened either on the takeoff roll or right after, as the aircraft was lifting into the air. Perhaps an engine failure, perhaps a controllability issue.
The jet, heading to the other end of the island, was leased from a Mexican company. State-owned Cubana Airlines had grounded many of its own aircraft due to maintenance issues. The Boeing 737 that crashed is an older model and had many previous owners. Its maintenance records and the black boxes may prove crucial in determining a cause. David?
David Curley tonight. Thank you, David. There was an unsettling scene at one of the Trump resorts near Miami. An armed man showing up, stealing an American flag from the property, reportedly shouting about the president, firing shots. Then police arriving on the scene. They did shoot Jonathan Odie several times. He did survive. Tonight, a search for a motive underway. One police official now saying it appears he was trying to lure police there into a firefight. And from Hawaii tonight, extraordinary images from the Kilauea volcano, the fissures, the cracks in the ground where lava is now shooting into the air. It comes after that powerful eruption from the summit. The FAA tonight now restricting flights within 5 miles of the crater. There are worries an even bigger blast may be on the way, and ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman reporting in earlier today.
David, shockingly, this was a cow pasture until about 2 weeks ago. Now, overnight, these fissures became incredibly active again. I want you to see that river of lava just oozing downhill over there. I spoke to seismologists here. They say they don't know exactly what's going on, why these fissures have become reactivated. What they do know is that we're going to see many more eruptions like this and that one in the coming days. David.
Matt Gutman with us from Hawaii again tonight. Matt, thank you. We're going to turn now to the story right here in Windsor. We're about 25 miles from London at Windsor Castle, where American Meghan Markle will marry Prince Harry tomorrow. Some big news here today when we learn that Prince Charles will now walk Meghan down that aisle. And tonight, the interview we found with Princess Diana, what she hoped for, seems to be coming true. ABC's James Longman right here tonight.
Tomorrow, her life will change forever. Before she joins a new family, Meghan Markle will spend tonight at this hotel with her mother, Doria Ragland.
How are you feeling, Miss Markle?
Wonderful, thank you. The bride-to-be looking radiant and calm after a family tea with her mother, her fiancé, the Queen and Prince Philip. The palace now says the 96-year-old will be there for his grandson's wedding. The town of Windsor officially Harry and Meghan Central. The streets packed with royal well-wishers, straining for a glimpse of Harry and William.
Look at the excitement. People can't wait to meet Prince Harry and his brother. There he is.
The princes making their way through town. Harry, happy and relaxed.
Congratulations!
Shaking hands and just taking in the moment. And tonight, the last-minute preparations, as we're learning more details about that walk down the aisle. With Meghan's father unable to attend, she's asked her future father-in-law, Prince Charles, to step in.
Clearly, Meghan feels that the royal family is a family that she already feels very comfortable with. I think she'll feel very reassured with Charles alongside her walking down the aisle.
The couple rehearsing today at St. George's Chapel. Meghan will enter up these stairs with her bridesmaids and page boys, including Prince George and Princess Charlotte. She'll proceed down the aisle and meet Prince Charles here. He'll walk her to the altar where she'll marry her prince. Harry, embraced by his mother all those years ago, was asked what Princess Diana would have thought of this American princess.
They'd be thick as thieves, without question. I think she would be over the moon, jumping up and down, so excited for me.
His mother once asked what she wanted for her boys.
If you find someone you love in life,